This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the middle of the African bush, and the sunrise has brought us a glorious big male lion, and this is Safari Live. Ready?
Standing by.
Five, four, three, two, one. You are live, you are live.
Morning, I can hear lions in the distance, so can he. My name's Brent, I've got VM on camera, and this is a Birmingham boy. Now, this is not one of the two males I saw yesterday. This is the one who's got the split in the lip, or had a split in the lip a while ago. It's healed up quite nicely. And he's got a little scratch on his nose. Now, I'm hoping that the sound of other lions inspires him to rattle our bones. I think he's the lion I heard just now. Oh, there we go. Contact calls. Come on, big boy, give us a roar. Looks like he's had a long night. He's looking quite well fed, though. Does look quite dirty around the face and neck, so I think he fed quite recently. And he wasn't feeding on that buffalo carcass with the Nkahumas. So he's obviously got his own meal somewhere else. And you can see, is that a wound? Or is that blood from something he ate this morning? Difficult to say. I'd say, just judging from how dirty his face is, I would say it's probably from something he ate. Hasn't had time to preen and clean. Well, it could have been from a fight. No, you see there's blood around his chin as well. I mean, he does have a few nicks and scratches. Could have been fighting over mating rights with one of the females. Oh, there we go. Come on. Give us a big roar. He's heard something. What have you heard, mister? Make your way. It's definitely worth spending a bit of time here to see if he does give us a roar. Will you just look at his foreleg on the right, or on his left for me? I just want to see further up on that blood. Just have a quick look higher up. No, I think he's been eating or fighting. So it's very difficult to say whether that blood is from him or from another. We'll see if he starts walking, if he's got a bit of a limp. No, he's listening intently to something to the southeast of us. Could it be the rest of the Nkahumas? Or maybe possibly one of his coalition mates. I heard him calling just as we were getting onto the vehicles. And I didn't hear any responses. Now, it's likely that, especially those males that are hovering around that young Nkomo female, are not going to want to be too vocal. They don't want any competition for the mating rights. So, ignoring the poor boy, we're going to, oh, excuse me, we're going to sit here, see if he starts. While we wait patiently, let's go say good morrow to Taylor.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful sunrise safari. My name is Taylor, and on camera we've got Darby. There he is. There's Dave, Downpour Dave, as some of you may know him. Now, I hope you're all awake and ready for this morning. We have found some leopard tracks. Now, I'm trying to find some nice set of leopard tracks for you so that I can show you, but I seem to have lost them at the moment. But never fear, we've got Herbert on his way as well, who's going to help us give us a hand. Now, I have a suspicion the tracks look very fresh. However, Connor, our engineer, who works all the magic at Safari Live, he actually said that while he was on his way to check something, he heard some impala alarm calling around this area, which is very good for us. So you're going to see me with my head dangling over the side of the vehicle, and I'm just trying to see where these tracks have gone. Now, what the leopards can do, sometimes they do move off the road, mark territory, and then come back on the road, or maybe she found a big pathway. Now, I'm not sure which female leopard this could be, and so I don't know the routes of all the female leopards yet, what they like to use, which pathways they prefer, what do they normally do after they've done one thing. So it's a bit of a wonder. So I'm also just scanning and checking on top of the termite mounds. Love to sit on termite mounds, or up any trees, to make sure that we haven't missed anything, and then gazing over my shoulder once again. Now, we are live, everybody, so tracking takes some time. So if you'd like to ask me any questions in the meantime, you're welcome to. Welcome to send your questions through to #SafariLive on Twitter, or you can email us questions@wildearth.tv. Here, leopard, leopard, leopard. Ha. Okay, so I have lost the tracks, and I'm not sure if they go north or south. I'm going to check once more on this road, otherwise I'm going to actually turn around. Right, let's see. Now this ground is lovely because it's nice and sandy, so it's leaving nice imprints of the track, which is good for us. But they don't appear to be any more tracks over here. Not that I can see. Right, while I carry on trying to find this mysterious female leopard, and let's see how Brent's doing with the lions.
Oh, we just got the tail end of a... Oh, he might roar again. I heard some other lions to the east that set him off. And he literally went from an absolutely flat cat up and roaring. There we go, back to the flat cat. You can see how big and fat his belly is. Looks like he can't get comfortable. There you go in the classical Sphinx pose. Now you can see he's got a very full tummy at the moment. And as I said, he wasn't with the Inca women, so he might have caught something or scavenged something somewhere else. Standing by. Copy, thanks Herbie. So Herbie's found the rest of the pride very close to where they were last night, so they're all lying up at Buffel's Hook. He says it's a very good visual. So I think, what do you think, Baldy? Do we head for the rest of the pride?
Let's give it 2 minutes.
Let's give it 2 minutes, see if he gives us another roar. Hey, cleaning himself up now. I think that could be, it looks like a bite. So it's probably from another lion, that blood. He's looking quite bedraggled this morning, I wonder. Copy, thanks. There you go, giving that wound a good clean. Okay. Are you going to go to Bubba's Hook? I'll see you there now. We're just going to wait a little bit, see if this guy gives us another good morning roar before heading off to the rest of the pride. Now, lions really like to give themselves a good cleaning, and it's incredible how they are able to move and twist their bodies to get their tongues into places you wouldn't think possible to reach. Now, of course, aloe grooming plays an important role here, where the other members will groom each other, and the males, what normally happens is they will actually groom each other quite a lot when they're not arguing over mating. I wonder where he's come from. Has he come from the north? Has he come from the west? It seems like the rest of the lions are still they're about 50 meters from where we left them last night. Here we go, giving it a really good lick. And you can see, as we get flashes of those impressive canines, that they are quite young and in their prime. Oh, look, in his fur, there's a spider hunting wasp on top of his head. Yeah? Look at that. Oh, off it took but there was a spider hunting wasp, Pompilidae wasp. Oh, that sounded like a contact call quite close to us. And he's almost, it's like yeah, I also heard a lion quite close to us, and he did as well. Maybe we should call him Fang. It looks like it. One fang sticking out. There he goes. I also just heard that of a contact call of a lion close by. Could be one of the other males. So we know the rest of the pride are to the east of us. There you go, you see that Steenbok sprinting away from the male lion, but he was not interested in it. And Guanuna Ngada is now up in Mobile West. Just ask Herbie how many male lions were within Kahumas. Herbie? Herbie, how many Wanunas were within Kahumas? Copy, thanks. I think I can hear another calling close by, contact calling, so I think maybe he's heading to another one. So Herbie could only see one, and but Herbie says he had tracks of a female and a male. What's that behind him there, Let me see. He's looking at something. See that dark shape there? Is that a nyala or what? Yeah, a nyala. Okay, we're going to try to stick with him while we do that. Taylor's got one of the most rare birds to show you.
Look what we found, everybody! I'm so excited because I heard these southern ground hornbills calling this morning. But I thought that they were very far away, but apparently my ears hadn't woken up yet. How incredible is this? Like Brent rightfully said, he said that they're one of the most endangered birds, and true that is. I've seen 3. I haven't seen any more, so possibly it's just the 3 of them. The third one has gone well ahead, and I think it's just appeared behind some trees. But how incredible is this? Now, these are special birds, and I don't know if many of you know too much about them. And they are cooperative breeders. So there's only one pair in this little family that will actually mate and lay eggs. And the rest of the family members will actually spend their entire lives helping to raise that one chick. Now, they do normally have 2 eggs, but normally it's just the one that will hatch and survive, which is quite amazing. And unfortunately, they take a very long time to reach sexual maturity. So they can live with their families and be looked after. And when I say looked after, I mean they are being fed consistently for anywhere up to about 6 years. That's a long time to live at home before you are able to go off on your own. How amazing is that, everybody? Now, I want to go around, so we're going to very quickly do a little bit of repositioning, just so we can see if we can catch them coming towards us. And now we found the impala, and we've also found the zebra that were apparently alarm calling earlier. So I think we're possibly just behind this leopard. Herbie is also on his way, and he will be a saving grace if he does come and help, because he's able to jump off and walk along lengths and follow the tracks that way, where I need to entertain you. So I'm going to hopefully have a better look at these hornbills. We just need to go the scenic way around. Is that correct, David? We have to go the scenic. So I'm just going to put my foot a little bit harder on the accelerator so we don't lose our hornbills. And then third gear, right. And I am still looking out for leopard tracks or a leopard as well. But quite amazing to see these hornbills. Now, I'm going to tell you why, unfortunately, they are so rare. But I'll wait till we get back to those hornbills again. It only shall be a few more minutes. We're almost on the linking road. See them catch something as well. They're pretty impressive as to how they use those giant beaks, those bills that you just saw, to snatch things up. Quite amazing. I've seen one pulling a chameleon off a tree before. I've seen them eating snakes, lizards, dung beetles. Love dung beetles. And they even scavenge. Can you believe that? So it's actually not uncommon to find them on something like that buffalo carcass, now that the lions would have moved off, to go around there and actually peck on a carcass. I used to see that quite often down in the south. Okay, I'm just going to put my foot a little bit closer to the accelerator. Okay. Almost there, everyone. I also don't want to go too fast and scare them. Hopefully they even call for us, because they were very vocal. And the sun's just peeping over. So possibly we could hear them do another little call. Okay, they should be just up around the corner, and I'm going to just slow down a little bit so the vehicle doesn't make too much noise. Where did you go? I'm hoping that there's more than 3. The biggest family that I've seen were 5, and it was down in the southern sectors of the Sabi Sands. Oh, there they are. Fantastic. And they were actually raising a chick, which was quite nice, but unfortunately, just as I left, we were only seeing 4. So I think that chick, unfortunately, didn't make it. They don't really have a good success rate. Okay, just crossing the road now. But they seem to be going to mingle with some impala. Don't fly away, please don't fly away. We just want to admire you because you are so special. Okay, we're coming up to them. Okay, right, everyone. Head to Brent, let's see what he's got.
Look at this, there's a lioness full of blood. And she's just appeared. She must have been making those contact calls. And with a massively full belly. Is this amber? It looks like the amber-eyed lioness. She's just appeared. Now, all that blood on her and him means they've probably made a kill, or she's made a kill, and I was half expecting another male to pop out of nowhere. And we were expecting a fight. And this reunion is wonderful. I wonder if Amber Eyes is starting to come into estrus. Oh, and the sun's bursting above the eastern horizon. Look at that glorious light coming through now. What? You're going to come scent mark? We might get a roar. Oh, okay. So it looks like Amber Eyes might be coming into estrus. Now, I think in the brief visual I had of the female, it looked like amber eyes. Okay, well, we thought there was going to be quite a bit more action as they met. I thought there might be the young female and with another consort. So I thought there might be a bit of a spectacular reunion, maybe a bit of a fight. But it looks like Amber Eyes has went off hunting all by herself last night. Okay, so while we wait to see how this plays out, let's go back to Taylor and the ground hornbills.
I'm going to sit very quietly, everybody. They're calling at the moment. Or they were. It's a very soft noise. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but it's sort of a hoo, hoo, hoo. It sounds like somebody tapping drums really softly and sort of in sets of 3. Quite amazing. Now, I'm trying to find which one is the female, because so far I've seen 2 males. Like, that's a male over there, and I can't see the female, but there's one quite far away from us on the opposite side of where these 2 are that are moving around. I don't know if you can see her. Where did she go? She's gone into the bushes. There she's coming. Sort of you go straight in. You got her coming in there. She's going to go past the log. There she is. You can see her. Well, I'm calling her she, but I don't know. I think this could possibly... I can't see. I'll have to wait until this one comes out to be able to tell you which one's a male or a female. No, that also looks very male-like. I don't know if there's any females here, guys. Marianne has made a comment, and she's wondering if she says it looks like these hornbills are walking on the tips of their toes. And unfortunately, no, Marianne, they're actually just walking like any other bird. But remember, they've got long legs. They're quite a big bird. They can weigh up to 4 kilograms, and I think their wingspan's about 1.2 meters. So they're not a small bird. They're quite heavy, and that may be why you're only seeing them. We haven't really seen them too clearly either. Now, I'm hoping that this female, or no, it's not a female, it looks like a male, sorry, is going to come across to the open so we can see it a little bit better, because it has to cross the road in order to get to the other side, obviously. But it is on its way. Ooh, can you hear it now? Now they're calling. It's very subtle, very soft. So they're obviously just keeping in contact with each other, because this one seems to have got distracted by something, whether it found some beetles on the ground and was munching away, but the others seem to be calling it back. Now, I wanted to tell you about, unfortunately, why they are so endangered. Now, one of the reasons, now there's many reasons, but one of the reasons is the fact that they breed so slowly. So, like I said, it can take for up to 6 years for that chick to reach sexual maturity, and then that dominant pair will only breed again after 6 years. And unfortunately, normally the second egg doesn't survive. It's normally just the first egg. So I know there's a lot of projects going on where they are breeding hornbills, and when they do lay 2 eggs, they'll actually take one away and try and hatch it, and then rear it, and then reintroduce it to a family group, which is proving to be quite successful. And now another one of the reasons, and it's the reason as to why so many of the birds and vultures numbers are dropping, and it's because of the poisons that they were using, the farmers were using on their cattle to poison things like the ticks, which then poisoned the birds that were feeding on them. And then, of course, a jackal would come through, eat that bird, it would die. It was just a horrible, never-ending story. And remember, I said that these birds over here, these lovely giant birds, often feed on carcasses. Now, and then that's how they would have become affected, and they would have been poisoned. And also a lot of farmers, remember, especially in areas like the Eastern Cape, unfortunately, where you don't really see these birds anymore, and they used to occur down there, as they would poison carcasses to try and kill caracals and jackal. See, those animals can be a pest to a farmer, someone that's farming sheep or goats or something like that. They can take the young lambs and the kids, and unfortunately everything else also falls victim to anything that is poison. So it's very, very sad. I'm going to very quickly reposition and get ahead, because do I see another one? I think I see another one. Do I? Yes, we've got 4, everybody. 4 in this group. Oh, that's fantastic. I don't like odd numbers, I like even numbers. So I'm glad that there are now 4. I just want to find out who's going to give us a better view, because we've got 2 on either side of us. Let's see. And these ones on the left, I think, are going to behave better. The ones on the right that we're looking at seem to be a little bit more on the shy side. So I'm going to try and get to a little bit of an open clearing, just so we can have another look at them again. The thing with these birds is, because they are quite shy, you've got to try and get ahead of them and then sit quietly and let them come to you. Okay, I'm going to quickly just go around the corner. I wonder where they're going. See if we can catch them here. I'm still on the lookout for those leopard tracks, everybody, and I am listening for any alarm calls, but I haven't heard anything just yet. Come on, hornbills, don't be afraid of us. There's one. There they both are. We just want to see you. Okay, I'm going to get up a little bit further. No, don't run. Maybe you can hear them now? Can anybody hear them or not? It's a very soft call. Maybe when they move away, I'll have to play the call for you. It's so beautiful. I wish you could hear it. Waiting for the other one to come out, because then we're going to have a beautiful view of it. It's just behind this one that we're watching now. Now, it's quite sad at their populations. This is just a rough guess, but I can't imagine that there are any more than about 500 of these birds left in South Africa, which is very, very sad. And hopefully these breeding projects that they're trying to do will be effective in being able to erase these populations again. So I don't want to see a beautiful bird like this go extinct. There we go, everybody. Here's an opportunity, a nice clear shot for you to take a screen capture. We don't seem to be getting many clear shots there. Oh, and you've got the golden sun coming onto this one. Now, this is a big male. You can see by that beautiful bright red facial skin. Now, that's typical of the male. The females tend to have more blue skin around sort of the eyes. I'll show you a photo of a female. Now, I haven't had a proper look at our other pair. Good morning, David. David wants to know, well, his comment was that the last hornbills they saw didn't have as red of a face as these ones do. Now, David, that's got to do with their sex as well as their maturity. Now, this is a big male. I mean, he seems to be fully grown. The female will have more blue skin and not as much red on her, and the same thing for a juvenile. The juveniles almost look like as if they were sick. They're sort of a grayish color around their face. So that's maybe what you saw. Possibly you saw a juvenile, or maybe you saw a female. we'll see. The others are catching up. Sorry, I'm moving a little bit. I'm just looking over my shoulder to see if I can see those others coming out. They're very vocal, everybody. Oh, can you see this one through here? Was it a bit?
Yep.
He's got something. It's got something in its mouth. Oh, hang on. I need to go forward. Sorry. There's a tiny gap. Have you got that gap?
Yep.
What's in its mouth? A little worm. Breakfast, everybody. Now, it's not eating it. It's calling with it. Are you going to eat it? Or perhaps it's going to present it. Maybe there is a juvenile around here. No, that maybe makes sense. Maybe one of them... Oh, okay, listen, everybody. Isn't that amazing, everybody? So I think we're going to see now that I think that this adult is on its way to feed a juvenile. That's what they do. They spend the entire day feeding a juvenile for 6 years. They obviously eat in between, but something that's like a worm that's packed full of protein, definitely going to give it to the youngster. Oh my goodness, they're getting excited. They're on the move now. Oh my word, we've got one coming right up next to us. Look at this one that's going to come right here. Can you see it? There it is. This one is so close. That's probably only about 30 meters away, which is incredible. Now, we've just been sitting here quietly, everybody. Listen to that. Can you see how that sort of sack on his throat slightly inflates when they do call? Not much. Okay. It is a bit of a resonating chamber, so it's amplifying that sound. Oh, look, oh, it is feeding. Oh, did you see? Oh, sorry, everybody. Look, there's the 3 of them now. Now, still got, not feeding. Now, there's one more. Now, where is this one going to come up? I'm probably going to have to reverse, eh? Oh, no, you're going to eat it. Okay, let me quickly reposition.
He just ate it.
Did you eat it? Cheeky. This is just, we call that pat course, everybody, where you take your food on the go and then you eat it. Pat course. I'm going to go back. Because I can see the other one now. I can't see any females here. I'm very confused. I'm going to have to get my book out and show you. Let's swing up here. Don't run away from us. No, it's okay. Oh, wow. Look at those beautiful white wings. Sorry, everybody, little birds. That's a beautiful shot. Look, now they're going to sit in the tree. That was actually quite amazing with the sun. Now you can see they can fly pretty well, too. They don't fly very often. They do roost in trees at night. Oh, did you see that feather drop? I'm going to fetch that feather a little bit later when they move off. That is incredible. I imagine to be able to say that I found a hornbill feather. Let's go forward again. That is awesome, everybody. I can't wait to pick that up. I didn't mean to disturb those birds. They're slightly nervous. So I think let's have one last look at them. And then we're going to watch them disappear into the distance. I'm also going to look while you try and have one little look. No, stop flying. It's okay. There's another one down on the ground. The others are going to come through. I just want to quickly find them in my bird book. Amazing, everybody. So very talented flyers, as you can see. The rest of them gone. They're gone, everybody. I'm not going to bother them too much. They seem to be a little bit uncomfortable with us, but they put on a great show, which was really, really nice. And that was a very long sighting of those hornbills. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you got a good few screen captures. And remember to hashtag Safari Life when you do take some screen captures, so we can all have a look at them a little bit later. While I try and find that feather, maybe just head on over to the northern sector and see how Brent's lions are doing.
Well, we have not budged a muscle. That Nkahuma lioness, I'm pretty certain its amber eyes has managed to clean all the blood off her feet and face. And the Birmingham boy, all he's managed to do is get a stick stuck in his mane as he flopped over. There he is. You can see there's an actual stick stuck in his mane. But not much movement here. So I've just heard the rest of the pride have disappeared into one of those impenetrable river systems. I'm going to try move around so we can get a better view of her and confirm that it is amber eyes. Morning, Alice in Ohio. Alice would like to know, is amber eyes bigger than the rest of the females? I wouldn't say so. Watch out there. No, it's not going to work. It's going to flick up onto us. And the white berry bushes are starting to sprout leaves. Beautiful, beautiful green coming through. Trying to make sure we get some sunlight on it. We're busy blocking her light at the moment. Is there a gap through there? Yeah? There we go, that looks like a little gap. Now, of course, our eyes are barely open, making it difficult for us to confirm, but I'm pretty certain it is the amber-eyed lioness. Look at how full that belly was. It definitely, I mean, she was full yesterday, but not nearly that full. I think she had a meal all to herself. And some time away from the cubs. Lions can really sleep. Perfected the art. Not much shade around here, so they might move a bit during the day, as you can see. Oh, I suppose there's a balanites tree, a big torchwood tree here that might give them a bit of shade later. But it doesn't look like these two are going to be moving soon. But we will stick with them for a little longer. But what we can do is you guys can decide where we're going to go next. Should we head and see if we can find the rest of the Nkahuma pride with the cubs, or should we stick around with these two for a bit longer? Remember, hashtag Safari Live or questions at wildearth.tv. Let me know what you would like to do. Now, Romy's wondering, would a lioness allogroom with a male lion and vice versa? Yes, definitely, Romy. They will. Not as common as it is between the females and males between males, but they do it. I wonder if that Birmingham shared a kill with Miss Amber Eyes, because he did have all that blood on him as well. And his tracks came from where she appeared. And you can see his belly is nice and full as well. Oh, a lot of ticks on the back of his leg there. A little cluster of ticks. Oh, heads up. And she's up. Giving him a good sniff. You can see a bit of that blood left on her face. Oh, she's flirting. Let's move forward a little bit. How's that, Vim? Okay. So maybe she is about to come into estrus. That wasn't very serious flirting, but flirting nonetheless it was. Oh, there's a little bit of blood on her eyelash almost there. There we go, that very Sphinx pose. Well, I suppose it's a lion pose that the Sphinx copied. Oof. Getting comfortable. Oh, the Franklins are particularly noisy this morning. Heard Crested, Natal, Shelley's and Koki calling. So 4 out of our 5 Franklin species. The only one we haven't heard calling this morning is the Swanson spurfowl. Maggie would like to know if there are any other males hanging around the pride, or is it just the Birmingham boys? At the moment, just the Birmingham boys. Now, there are male lions that will hang around the peripheries or actually never hold permanent territory throughout their life. And these nomadic males will sneak in and mate with the lions. And that's their strategy, and often these are males that are born singularly to prides, and they are able to find coalition members as they start moving out, and that causes them to have this sort of nomadic strategy. Now, in certain parts of Africa, about 50% of the lion cubs are born to those nomadic lions, even though the dominant male lions consider them to be theirs. Now, we've spent a lot of time with Nkumas recently. Now, the only time that's going to happen, they're not going to let a nomadic male near those cubs. But a lioness like this, moving away from the pride to mate, will sometimes mate with those nomadic males. Okay, so I don't think too much more is going to happen here for now. I don't think she's in full estrus. Now, Kevin is wondering, when was the last time all 4 Birmingham boys were together? I'm not sure. Not that long ago, Kevin. Probably about 2 weeks ago. Oh, guys, I've just got a report from Herbie. There's tracks of wild dogs coming into here, and they're heading this way. So we're going to head across and try get around to Sydney's dam. It sounds like they might pop out there. So we'll only have a chance to see them very shortly. Let's try to find a way out of here. Ooh, exciting wild dogs! As much as I love lions, when they're sleeping, they can be a little bit. Okay, we now found a gap. And there we go. Isn't this exciting? Could we start with what a start it's been to this morning? We had the male lion roaring next to us, and we found amber eyes full of blood. And now hopefully we can find my favorite. Okay, I'm just going to be on the radio for a second. I'm on Buffalo's cut line. I'll check to make sure they haven't crossed north. Okay. Whoa. Well, that's another animal in the road ahead of us. But we're not going to spend too much time with him. I wonder if Amber and that Birmingham managed to catch a buffalo to themselves. No, I doubt it, because they would still be eating it. And there's some buffalo in the road. Hello, Duggar boys. So, a couple of old bulls causing us a little traffic jam. Ooh, but quickly, is a yellow-billed oxpecker. That's the rarest of the two oxpecker species. Morning. Oh, isn't that pretty? Okay, we're not going to stay with them for too long. We'll come back if we don't have any luck with those wild dogs. We know where you are, yellow-billed oxpecker. Okay. Sorry, old boys. So I'm just looking, there's an impala looking at, not that stressed. So, hi, Danny C. Danny C is watching the safari on YouTube and would like to know, where can I sign up to do a safari with the guides? Well, you do a safari with us twice a day, Danny, on YouTube or the website wildsafarilive.com. And most of the time, we don't do too many private safaris these days because we're quite busy taking the whole world on safari. And also, Danny, if you want to send questions to us, the best way to do it is to use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. That should get through to us. Now, Danny, excuse me for a moment. I want to chat to Herbie, find out what's happening with those wild dog tracks. Herbie. Herbie, do you still have visual? Or is it just in console? Okay, copy. I'm just passing Gallagher shortcut. There's lots of impala and zebra here. I'm going to check to Sydney's. So there's still quite a lot of general game here, but this is the sort of general direction where those wild dogs were heading. There's Herbie. Now, wild dogs are such incredibly quick movers. You need sort of stay on your game to try find them.
So unfortunately we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being alive and in the bush, but our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Sorry about this, everybody. Perhaps something has pushed over the Gauri repeater, just like the elephants have pushed over this marula tree. Our technical team is rushing around madly trying to fix it, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
Hi everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties, but please bear with us. Our engineering department and our tech department will be working on getting us back up and running as quickly as possible. As you know, bringing you live safaris from the middle of the African bush is not always the easiest task in the world, but we will be back up, and stick with us because you never know what might be on your screen when we return to you.
So unfortunately we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being alive and in the bush, but our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
sorry about this, everybody. Perhaps something has pushed over the Gari repeater, just like the elephants have pushed over this marula tree. Our technical team is rushing around madly trying to fix it, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
Hi everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties, but please bear with us. Our engineering department and our tech department will be working on getting us back up and running as quickly as possible. As you know, bringing you live safaris from the middle of the African bush is not always the easiest task in the world, but we will be back up, and stick with us because you never know what might be on your screen when we return to you.
So unfortunately we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being alive and in the bush, but our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Welcome back. Sorry about that. Seems like we're having a bit of a gremlin problem. But Connor is beating them with a stick. And there we've got an impala atop a termitaria. Now, unfortunately, those wild dogs have been found. They were already past us. So those waterbuck we saw running were almost certainly from the wild dogs, which they crossed straight north. And they were just too quick for us this morning, but they might be back this evening. Hi, Jason. Jason's wondering, do wild dogs prefer hunting in the daytime or the night time? Well, Jason, they are crepuscular hunters. It's their favorite time of the day to hunt, which is early morning, and so at dawn and dusk. But they generally prefer when there is a bit of light. They will hunt at night when there's a bright moon, but it is less common. And unfortunately, they are very fast, and they were very fastly past us this morning. So we're going to head now further east and see what's happening back there. We maybe take a quick squiz at those lions, and then maybe try see if we can find the rest of the pride. Morning, James Richard. James Richard would like to know when we're going to see one of the denning wild dog packs back in the area. Says he can't remember the last time we saw either the Investec pack or the Sands pack. Now, the Sands pack is still to the west of us on Singita. Now, interestingly enough, the alpha female gave birth, I think it was to 9 puppies, but now they've also, the beta female, one of the beta females has given birth. Now, sometimes the alpha will kill those pups, and sometimes the pups of the alpha will kill the pups of a beta. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Now, I spoke to my friend at EWT, and he's told me that the Investec pack are up and mobile, and they've got 9 puppies, 7 adults now, and they are starting to move around the Manileti, so hopefully we'll start seeing them again quite soon. There you go, there you go, some kudu. We're quite thankful to have avoided the wild dogs. We've been seeing some really lovely big groups of kudu recently. And they'll be chuffed as Larry that there's some nice green leaves sprouting that they can feed on. Oh, right next to us. Here is a female feeding on some sprouting leaves. And Eve's not even getting a chance. She's literally stripping that tree. It looks like a little, yes it is, a little bush willow. Oh, not that one. That one's not a bush willow. Difficult to see what she's eating before she eats it all, but she was eating a bush willow a bit earlier. Here you can see those little purpley green bush willow leaves as they are sprouting and disappearing. Gone! Making short work of that combretum. Oh, get! Oh, there we go, got it. Oh, you forgot one? Oh, yeah, no, moving on. To the next little bush willow leaves. Let's see if she spots those ones. They are incredibly beautiful animals. Picking up condition quite quickly and quite nicely after that rain. Now, I remember that those buffalo with the yellow-billed oxpeckers were very close. Bye, kudu. Enjoy your bush willow breakfast. So those buffalo bulls were right here. And the lions, so the buffalo bulls were there. The lions are over there. But they looked very, very fat and happy. I don't think they're going to be harassing those buffalo today. Oh, there they are. There's the buffalo. Let's see if those yellow-billed oxpeckers are still in tow. it's the first time I've seen yellow-billed oxpeckers in quite some time. I can hear an oxpecker chirping on the buffalo. Is it yellow-billed or have they moved on? On the left one. Here he is. It's a red-billed, is it? Yes. Where the yellow-bills go? They departed while we were looking for wild dogs. Well, let's check the other buffaloes. You never know. Now, one of the things about yellow-billed oxpeckers, they normally, as you drive up, will hide on the opposite side. Oh, there's one there on the shoulder, but it's also a red bull. Oh, look at that horn there, and quite, rubbing it against some trees. Now, they've come out of the drainage system, and I'm pretty sure that he's been rubbing it against a tumbuiti tree. Now, the milky latex of a tumbuiti tree is quite noxious, so it works as a sort of natural insecticide. So if he rubs that milky latex from a tumbuiti on his tree, from a tumbuiti tree on his horns, it manages to keep a few ticks away from his face and ears. Oh, look at this, man. Nope. Oh. Ah! Darn it, it escaped. There was an antlion, adult antlion that landed on my box, and as I put it on my finger to show everyone, it flew away. Okay, well, the yellow-billed oxpeckers have evaded us. Let's keep moving. Right, while we keep exploring around this area, let's go see how Taylor's doing.
I've been gone for some time, everybody, but I'm back again, and I'm back strong. If you've just started watching the show, my name is Taylor, and on camera with me we have David, Downpour Dave, and you are watching a live safari at the moment. Can you believe this? So I've been driving around at the moment trying to find this leopard, but I cannot find this leopard, unfortunately. It seems to have given me the slipperoo, but we are still looking. So this is one of the things about live safaris, everybody, is that as we're driving around, we're having to find the animals as we go. There's nothing that's got collars or GPS devices or anything like that. This is the real wilderness. So we are in the middle of the Sabi Sands Private Game Reserve, which is in South Africa. And it's probably one of the best places, in my opinion, to do safaris in South Africa. The game viewing is phenomenal. Now, I want to go back. I did see some giraffe that were just out of our traverse, and they looked as though they were coming north. Now, hopefully, we get to see them, because I did see about 5 heads bobbing up, but in the very far distance. Now, it's been about an hour, so I suspect that they could possibly be on our property. So that's what we're going to do now, as I'm still driving around looking for this leopard, but unfortunately, I can't see any more tracks. So we're going to go back and see if those giraffe are around, and hopefully we don't lose signal again, everybody. Oh, actually, sorry, before we go, while we're here on quarantine open area, something that I haven't been able to do because I was with the lions yesterday morning, and I didn't drive yesterday afternoon, is we need to go and do our snapshot, everybody. So it's actually quite nice that we've given a few days break. Now you're really going to be able to see a difference in how much a grass has come through. So we're slowly making our way around there. We'll do that first while we're here, and then we will go look for the very tall creatures that roam the African plains. But I hope you all enjoyed that hornbill sighting that we had a little bit earlier. That was quite special. And I know Herbie was looking for me, everybody. Let me just quickly talk to Herbie. I'll be 2 seconds. Standing by, Herbert. I'm on quarantine open area. I'm also live at the moment. Copy, thank you. Right, so Herbert has finally seen the tracks that I was telling you about. Now, sorry, unfortunately the tracks weren't very clear that we could pick up nicely on the camera, but if Herbert finds some more really nice ones, we'll be able to hopefully go back and I can show you them, which will be nice. Or hopefully Herbert can find a leopard for us and then I can show you some leopards, which I'm sure you would prefer to see. Okay, we're almost at our spot. So I don't think I actually informed some of the new viewers is that we had a bit of rain about a week ago now, and we've been, maybe even a bit longer ago, we have been taking screenshots of the same spot every single day. Now where is my spot? Is it this way? Thanks. Taking the same picture every single day just to see how well the grass is growing. Isn't it over there? Yeah. Can we go straight? Sorry, but I'm getting lost on quarantined open area, so I can hear Rebecca and Jerry laughing at me. We get there eventually, though. We've just got to find the road that leads to where I'm looking for. So thank goodness I've got David on board with me this morning. And it's such a nice day. I don't know why I still have my big bulky jacket on. It's warming up so nicely. And there is not a cloud in the sky, everybody. It is beautiful and blue and warm. We had a bit of a chilly spell the last 2 days. Lots of clouds. Oh yes, now I see what you mean. Thank you. I was very confused. Right. We're almost here. Phew, okay, we found it. We found it. We didn't get lost. One more turn. Okay, 30 seconds and we'll be in position. Oh wow, look how green it is. Right, now we're going to take one big picture, everybody. So that's perfect. That is fantastic. Now everybody take your screenshots over here of the grass. So this is our first angle. And now we're going to zoom into the termite mound, everybody, to get a closer look at the lovely green grass.
I like that.
Perfect. Lovely. Now you can see it. Like I said, it's going to take a few days, a few weeks for the grass to spread its roots nicely. But you can see the length on that grass is wonderful. Good morning, David. David would like to know this morning how green is this area normally when without a drought. Now, what are we in now? We're in September. We normally would have had a little bit of rain. So generally at the end of July and August, it is fairly dry. Sorry, everyone, I'm looking into the sun. It is fairly dry, so it probably look pretty much like this. In September we normally have a little downpour as well. However, I don't think if we would have seen so many fallen trees over though without this drought, because those elephants are heavily relying on eating the roots. So the only difference, sorry, I'm just listening to a bird as it flies over. I thought it was something alarm calling, but it isn't. It looks like a lilac-breasted roller. So the only thing, David, that I think would be different is that there wouldn't be so much a distraction, if you'd like to call it that, to all the trees that have been uprooted at the moment. But other than that, it would actually look very much like this. Like I said, it's typical in September to just get a little downpour, not very much rain, usually only about 10 or 15 mils. So you see a little bit of grass coming through, and then we should consistently get rain from about the end of October, and then it's lovely, and then the grass doesn't stop growing. And then in some areas you'll find that the grass can grow to almost a meter in length, which is quite amazing. So I think this is a fair amount. The leaves on the trees wouldn't have started growing without the drought just yet either. It's going to be probably another month or two before we start to see lots of nice green leaves coming through. So it hasn't, in the sense of, hasn't affected the greenery very much. It's just the devastation, really, that the elephants, unfortunately, have done due to their hunger. Right, I hope you got all your pictures, everybody. Now we can go back and try and find those giraffe. Let's go do that. It would be quite exciting to see a herd of giraffe, too. I don't think I've seen any herds since I've been here. I've only seen one male giraffe, and I think I've been seeing the same male giraffe over and over too. But the ones we saw in the very far distance look like different giraffe, which is good. Maybe got a nice family coming on holiday. But we'll just go this way around. Whee! Right, just checking the area because they were moving quite quickly. They could have already come this far. Still listen. I'm just going to, sorry, the radio's, just want to very quickly listen to the radio. Just there's a lot of chatter. Let's see if maybe Herbie found the leopard. I hope so. Now they've gotten quiet. Okay, I'm just going to keep the radio on, the game drive radio, just for a little bit, everyone. So, I don't know what they were all chatting about, and I don't know if I heard Herbert correctly. I wonder if he said that he had tracks of 3 leopards, or if it was, or I don't know what I heard. So I'm wondering if it was possibly tracks of 3 leopards. I wonder if Tundi hasn't come across by some miracle with her 2 little ones, or I suppose maybe it could even be Karula, which would be quite exciting. I only saw adult female leopard tracks, but maybe he picked up on some more that I possibly missed. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Right, while I try and head into the area of the giraffe, it's quite a distance away, everyone. I wonder how Brent's doing. I wonder if he had any luck with those wild dogs.
So as we said, the wild dogs have gone north into Buffelshoek. So I know Taylor had some female leopard tracks on Zoe's, which is up on that crest there. So I'm feeling lucky. Veerm, are you feeling lucky? Very lucky. I think we're going to find this leopard. Now Herbie's checking from that side. And I'm just going to do a slow drive along the edge of this little river system here. Now, this is a favorite hangout for Karula and quite a few other leopards. So Herbie seems to think it is Karula and the cubs. So there's tracks for 3 leopards. I haven't seen those cubs in so long. They must be getting really big. So I think if she's brought them here, she might have a kill. And if she does, it's going to be in this area. Well, there's an impala, and that's not what we're looking for. So I'm just going to go slowly along the edge of this river system. Now it's warming up slightly. I think it's time to lose a layer. Now, what I'm doing is I'm looking into this little river system here quite carefully. I think there are some really thick little spots in here. And, well, hopefully with Karula, she's popped whatever she's caught in a tree. And not too many leaves on the trees, so I'm hoping to spot it from a distance. There it is. Pop this one, and I'm going to sit up, get a bit of height. on my door. Have a quick look here if there are any tracks. Nope. Oh dear. What have I done now? There we go. Let's just move that along. Okay, so now I've got some height. Now I'm checking all the big marulas, all the slightly thicker timbuti trees. We're just looking for something that looks slightly out of place. A little splash of color, a white of an impala belly in a tree, a hanging tail. I think if we get no luck on our snail paste search, okay, I might so we're just looking carefully at. Now Jason, who's a new viewer, a huge Safari Live, welcome to you, Jason. Jason would like to know, is there a way to tell the difference between a leopard and a cheetah's paw print? Most definitely, Jason. Now, the main way is that leopards have fully retractable claws and cheetahs have semi-retractable claws. So what happens is that a cheetah will often, oopsie, I'll be entangled. Let me just go a bit further. What did I spot there? A cheetah will often, you'll see the actual claws. Sorry, Jason, I'm going to get back to you in a second. I've seen something that has piqued my interest. I'm just going to go back a bit. It could just be a branch, or it's just that splash of color that looks slightly odd. And you always want to check. No, it is a branch. I'm also going to use my binoculars to check all those bigger marula trees in the distance there. Make sure she's not up there. She doesn't look like it. Okay. Sorry, Jason. So a cheetah, you can actually see the claw print. Also, a cheetah's track for its body size is very big because they've got very big, flat feet for that incredible speed they are able to run. So it's actually quite different, but they both have those three lobes of a cat at the back. Now, if I get no luck here, I might take a little walk into this river system to an area we can't see from the road and see if we can find her on foot. There's a couple of nice big trees I want to check around here. Also, just always carefully checking the road for tracks. Where do you think? I think she's in here, Vildy. What do you think? She likes this area. There's this little head of a couple of little river systems. And there's some nice quarry thickets to hunt in. There's good spots to put kills in a tree. And she's going to eat quite a lot with those cubs growing as quickly as they are. Oh dear, I've spotted something again. Now there's a quarry bush way over there. It's probably nothing, but it's always worth checking. It's a stick. So in the shade of a quarry bush, I was just checking there, but it is a stick, not a leopard, which is unfortunate. Half the fun is the search, isn't it? I mean, we're out here live in the middle of the African bush, searching for a female leopard with 2 cubs. And leopards are the masters of camouflage, so it's a real challenge and test of your skill. always check carefully, make sure she hasn't slunk across and her tracks have crossed the road. Now, Linda's wondering, is there a leopard that I haven't seen in some time and would really like to see today? Indeed, there is, Linda. His name is Gajima. And we don't see him too often. He only holds territory right on the edge of our traverse area. So it's a branch, but I'll show you what I spot. Okay, Vim, a little bit to the right. Okay, yes, those tall marulas there. Now you see there's that one branch hanging down. You always check that, or if you ever see sort of some dark spots in a tree at a distance, it could always be a leopard kill in the shade. I'm just checking all the marulas there at the moment with my binoculars. Also, always important to have a little listen. You never know if... Oh, what are these impalas spotted? That's another impala. Always good to just check. Now, one of the most important tools you have out here is a good pair of binoculars. See, there's that impala. You see him, Vim? One impala way over there. Oh, these guys look like they're about to have a silly 5 minutes. Chasing each other about. Look at them go. Now, what I'm listening for now is that alarm call. An alarm calls of an impala. Oh, these two males, they seem to be looking up towards the head. Let's go have a look there. If we get no luck here, as I said, she might be in here, but she might have also gone slightly further to the west. Oh, yeah. Let's check one with Herbie. Herbie. Any luck there, Info? Okay, copy Hibbs. I think I'm going to follow now to that large Ntoma that's in that drainage line there. I'll have a look from quarantine side. Okay, guys, I'm going to go for a walk and see if I can find her. I've got a feeling she's gone straight towards, which she's done many times, is that an Ntoma, you heard me say, which is a jackalberry. It's that big jackalberry in the middle of the river there. And I found her around there many, many times. So I'm going to have a walk down there. While we do that, let's go see what the Taylor's up to.
And we are back, everybody. Look at that beautiful tree that we have found. It seems to be the only thing that we're able to find today is things that have got roots in the ground and cannot move. Having a good chuckle that I cannot find the tallest creature. I don't know where they've disappeared to, but there are a couple of thick blocks in here, so possibly they've gone into one of those. But we'll keep doing circles and laps around until they eventually come out. However, I want to show you this lovely big tree. Now, it's a very famous tree. I'm sure I don't need to even tell you what it is, but for the new viewers, this is a balanites, or a more common name is a torchwood. Now, this is actually a really big one. This is quite a beautiful one, and something that I love is the way that the trunk twists and turns. It's quite beautiful. It's actually a very handy little tree, this, to have around, especially if you know it. Now, if you find the seeds of this tree, there's no fruit at the moment. But hopefully, oh, can I see one? Can you see on the branch over here? This little one that's coming towards us. Maybe it's a dried leaf. Can you see what I'm looking at? Let's see. We're going to see if I can show you. I think it's a fruit. I'm not sure. It's very difficult to try and keep it. Is it one? Yes, it is. Look at that. That is the fruit, everybody, of the balanites tree. Well done, Downpour Dave, on spotting that as well. That was very good. That was very hard to zoom in. It's very small, everybody. It's probably about the size of your thumb in length. Now, the fruit, I've never actually eaten the fruit before, but I'm sure things like porcupines and all sorts of, and warthogs and things will munch on them, and baboons. However, I want to tell you about the seed inside of that fruit. Now, that seed is actually very flammable, and you can use it, you can light it quite nicely, and use it almost like a burner, give you a bit of light. It will burn for quite a few hours. So you need a lighter to light it, or somehow, or you can be like Steph, who attempts to make a fire, and who's pretty amazing at doing such a good job with 2 sticks by being able to make a fire. I can't do that, everybody. That's quite amazing. It's really beautiful. David, you are spot on with the name of this tree. So David said, is that why this tree is called a torchwood? Because it burns well. That's exactly why it's called a torchwood, because of that seed inside the fruit. Now, I was saying to you that some of the animals can eat it. Remember, their digestive systems are quite different to ours. However, I wouldn't eat it. It's quite poisonous, and I think you'd get quite sick. I've heard stories of them using it as a fish poison as well. So don't eat the fruit of the balanites tree. Everybody, rather stay away from that. We're quite sensitive to that. But I just wanted to point out this lovely tree because I missed you all and I was gone for such a long time. And this is a tree that one day I will see a leopard in. Actually, even to see some baboons in this tree would be quite nice. It's nice and open. Lots of branches to dangle off as well. Good climbing tree as well. But I'm not going to climb it for you today, I'm afraid. Right, let's carry on and see what we can find. Maybe those leopards are around. Now there's lots and lots and lots of animals that I have yet to see, and I've got a checklist. I've still got to see some of the Birmingham boys. I've only seen the Styx Pride once, and there are plenty of leopards that I need to see too. Now, I know, Linda, you're asking me, are there any leopards that I'm dying to see? I'm dying to see the Anderson male. And the reason why I cannot wait to see him, and I hope that I do get the opportunity to see him, hence why I like to hang around on the southern boundary to hopefully see him sneak across, is I've heard stories that he could possibly be bigger than a leopard by the name of Mbavala, which roams in the Sabi River, so quite close to the Paul Kruger gate for the Kruger National Park, and then also the southern sands, all the lodges, Lion Sands, Sabi, all those places down south that border along the Sabi River. Now, he lives in there, and now I think that's the biggest leopard I've ever seen. His sort of common name is Vin Diesel. That's what we like to call him, but his real name is Mbavala, and he doesn't have a neck. It's just dewlap, and when he's eaten, when he's full, you look in a distance, you look on the rocks that are all in the Sabi River. You'd honestly, first thing, and I've done it before where I've gone, oh, lions! No, not lion, leopard. He's that big. Now, I believe that the Anderson male is a contender, and there are have been many disputes as to who is larger. So I'd love to be able to see him for myself and decide, seeing as I've seen Bavala in real life. So I think I'd have an accurate idea of who is the larger of the leopards. Oh, we've got a lilac-breasted roller, just perched so nicely with the sun in our favor. Look at that. Hello. Aren't these just gorgeous birds? There we go, everybody. That would make a lovely screenshot. A nice desktop background for you for the day. And it's nice to have this roller around all year. We don't have too many pretty birds that stick around, I suppose, other than the Turocco, the purple-crested Turocco. But the other rollers are seasonal, so we normally only see them in our summer months. And I'm hoping, and I don't know, maybe you can all help me. Have any of you ever seen a broad-billed roller up this far north? Now, we used to get them down in the south, but I used to see them a lot in Zambia. They were quite prominent in that area. So I'm uncertain if you see them up in the northern sands. And then, of course, we see the occasional purple roller flying past, which is quite nice. Not as pretty as the lilac-breasted, and off it goes. Now you've just got some moss on the tree. Some, not moss, lichen. Wonderful. Lovely bird. He's actually just flown a little bit further ahead and perched himself on a silver cluster leaf. We might get another look at this bird. Come on, he's very chatty. He's actually making quite a bit of noise. Maybe we get lucky and do a bit of a display. Shane, I've been avoiding this I've been avoiding and hoping that someone wasn't going to ask me if I managed to find the hornbill feather. So David and I, let's watch, while I tell you, let's see if this lilac-breasted roller is going to hang around. So David and I very quickly hopped out, and we thought we knew exactly which tree it was in, and we can't find it, and I don't know why. And I'm pretty sure it was a feather that fell out of that bird. I could be mistaken though, but maybe you can all help me. Did any of you see the same thing that I saw? Did you see the feather dropping from the bird as it was preening itself? Now I'm going to have to go and have a look again this afternoon after breakfast. Okay, so I'm going to go and try and have a look again, but I believe that some of you who possibly had a better look and were looking at the screen, I was sort of looking at the birds in the distance, and said that it could have been bark, which makes sense. It could have been bark. I'm hoping that it isn't though, because I did see just before it took off. Oh, you're going to fly? Getting ready to go. I did see it sort of open its wing and groom, and I thought maybe it pulled out an old feather that was ready to fall out. But possibly, I could be mistaken. Like I said, I was looking into the sun and I was watching the actual birds. So it was quite far away from us. Luckily, David has a nice zoom on his camera, which is obviously proves to be quite handy. But I will go and give it one more look, because to find a hornbill feather, a southern ground hornbill feather, wow. I don't think too many people have found too many hornbills in their lives. Too many hornbill feathers, sorry, in their lives. I'm so distracted, and the reason why I'm distracted is because I've got some impala, everybody. Let's have a look at the impala. Okay, we've got a lovely herd in here, and I also saw this little steenbok sprint through. I can see it, so maybe we'll be able to get to the steenbok too. Oh, Darby, I think let's go forward, because that steenbok looks like it's using the restroom. Now I want to see if I can show you something interesting about a steenbok. Can you see it in there? No, no, no! Ah, I'm just missing it. Don't run, keep scraping. So many trees. Can you get it through there? Ah. So you can see it running away, everybody. Now, what I was hoping to show you, it's just that the vegetation was a little bit thick, is that the steenbok actually defecated. So tiny little round pellets, and they're really small. I have to try and find you some and compare them to impala feces, because they're tiny. But what the interesting thing is how you differentiate between common duiker dung and steenbok dung, is that once the steenbok is finished defecating, it actually scrapes and covers its dung with sand, which is quite amazing. And it did that, but we weren't at the right place at the right time, unfortunately. So it's something that we'll hopefully be able to show you again. Let me go forward again. Let me see if we can maybe get a better view, but I don't know. But it was really, really quite spectacular. And the reason why they tend to cover their dung with, it's so hard. The steenbok doesn't, is it alright? Well, it's going forward again. Let's keep going forward. We're trying to find gaps in and amongst all these silver cluster leaf trees and the bush willows. Can you see it through there? So there's many theories as to why steenbok cover their dung with sand. One is that they hide the scent because they are such a small little creature and they're quite vulnerable. And the other one is that it actually preserves the scent because these little antelope mark and defend territories. Can you believe that something that small has a little territory? And I know Jamie said, I think it was yesterday, that she thought it would be quite funny to see two female steenbok fighting, butting heads. And I was thinking about that last night, and I thought that'd actually be quite hilarious to see that. I can't imagine anything like it. You can see them nibbling away, looking up, always listening. Very vulnerable creatures, and that's why they're on their own like this. Is because they're so small. It's easier for them to try and hide away and pretend that they're not even around, rather than being in a big herd where they would be picked off by big eagles, by the leopards, by the hyenas, by even the jackals. And the serval, I'm sure, could get a very young steenbok. And now they're munching. Oh, now this one is munching. Right. I think let's carry on and see what else is out and about. But I'm sorry that we didn't get to see that steenbok going to the toilet. Got to see all the different animals using the luxury facilities. Now here is a perfectly good example to see the devastation that has been caused because of the elephants. Now you can see lots of trees have been pushed over. Like I said, they have to do it though during the winter months. It's very, very important. Like look at this little bundle over here that's been pushed over. And they're doing it for food. So it's not that they're being destructive. 9 times out of 10 when they do it, they need to get the roots. They're stripping the bark, all those sorts of things. And the reason why I don't think elephants are that destructive is now you can see they've pushed this entire tree over. But can you see how it's actually provided quite a bit of shelter? So your ground-dwelling birds, like the guinea fowls, like the spur fowls, like the franklins, even a little quail. Now, if it's trying to run away from something like a big eagle that's soaring in the area, or if it's being chased by a jackal, I don't know, whatever it may be, if it runs under here, it's got a really good hiding spot. And it's also a good spot to lay your eggs. Nice and kept out of the sun, so it doesn't get too hot with the African sun beating down on it, and you've got safety. I think the elephants help a little bit. So our Beard wants to know, do we have any Akori bustards? Now, unfortunately, up here, I've never seen a Akori bustard, and I've actually never seen a Akori bustard at all. I've seen lots of video footage. I've actually even found a feather of a Akori bustard once, but I have yet to see one. Now, I know they occur in the Kruger. Now, I'm wondering if they'd maybe come this far north. I'm unsure. Should we have a look at a book and see the distribution? Now, I just need to find the page very quickly. So, the Akori bustards, everybody, that is the heaviest flying bird in southern Africa. No, you can be a little bit further down. 154. My favorite of the bustards, though, I have to say, I like the Denham's bustard. Used to get that down in the southeastern section of South Africa. Okay, we've got some bustards. We've got the black-bellied. Wow, have a look here. So the Akori bustard is the one up top. quite spectacular. And if you go down one, you can actually see the Denham's bustard, which is my favorite. Now the Denham's bustard is the second largest bustard that we see. Much lighter though, however, than the Corey bustard. The Corey bustards get big. They get up to about 18 kilograms. That way, it's a lot. When they come into land, like I said, I've never seen them in real life, but I've seen lots of video footage of them. It sounds like a Boeing, a big aeroplane coming into land. I don't know if you've ever heard geese sort of swooping in about before they land in the water, and it sort of sounds like a jet coming in. Now, we'll times that by 10, and that's exactly what the Corey bustard sounds like. So, I've never seen Denham's bustard up here, but like I said, it's the second largest bustard that we get, the Denham's bustard, and they only get to about 14 kilograms. So quite a sort of weight difference is quite a bit, but in terms of wing height, not so much. The big Corey bustard can stand at just over a meter, maybe a little bit more, and the Denham's bustard just less than that. But quite nice. Very cool, huh? Bird book. Now, we've been seeing a lot of red-crested corans, and it's something that I've never been able to see yet doing their display, which I'm quite excited about. Also, only seen photos and seen lots of video footage, but haven't seen them doing the display for myself. So it's also the time of the year we should start to be seeing it too. And I've heard a few of the red-crested corans calling, and they like this area. This is a very good area for the black-bellied bustards, and as well as for the red-cresteds. And maybe we see one around here too. I think I just maybe heard one in the distance, but it sounded very far behind us. We'll have to just keep a lookout. Oh, I can see mongoose, but I think they're very far away. Mongoose, can we see you? Let me go back. Can you see them all racing in the distance? Well, they've gone to that fallen log. They're actually all racing around in that fallen log. Back, there we go. Here we go, you can see them. Now, Kalinda. I wonder if Kalinda is watching today, everybody. So Kalinda asked me a question. I need to just exactly get the question. A few days ago, and I felt terrible because we didn't really get a good look at these mongoose. They were sort of around for only about 2 seconds, and then they disappeared. And Kalinda asked a question now. I just want to read it word for word, because I did write it down. I said I was going to get back to you, and I try and keep my word wherever I can. And this is the first time since about 4 or 5 days now we have actually seen any mongoose. Where is that question? It's here somewhere. I'll be 2 seconds, everybody. I want to get it correct. Oh, where did I write it down? I thought I wrote it in the front of my book. Oh, here we go. So Kalinda wanted to know, sorry Kalinda, I don't have the question anymore, but I remember you asking essentially about there, those mongoose are coming out again. Basically, you were asking, do the mongoose sort of show affection for each other? Do they care about each other? I can't remember the exact wording that you used. And I said to you that I wanted to actually sit and watch their behavior. Now, here's a perfect opportunity. They've woken up. They've come out of their termite mounds. Now, let's watch how they interact with each other. And I'd like to hear your opinions before I give you my answer. Do you think that they interact nicely with each other, so sort of grooming each other, helping each other find food, fend off predators? Or do you think that they just do their own thing and they don't really mind too much about the other members? Now, there's some interaction going on now which should be able to answer your question. Look at that. You see how they've all cuddled up now? How they've all been grooming each other? Allo grooming is the most important thing for strengthening a bond between groups of animals that live together. So Kalinda, they indeed, and I hope you're watching so that you can get your answer eventually, They are very sociable creatures, and they've all got different types of personalities. We'll have some that are probably a little bit more tolerant than others. We see that with all the different animals. But look at them, all cuddled up now, grooming each other. When one finds something, they let off excited noises and they all come running in, try and grab whatever it is. Especially if it's something like a snake and they need protection, they'll mob it. They'll try and chase it away. Or birds, birds of prey. I've seen them all coming out and trying to chase one away. Unfortunately, they didn't get lucky though. I think it was a dark chanting goshawk actually managed to get a very tiny little dwarf mongoose, which was unfortunate, but they tried. But it picked it up and it moved away with it. But look at all of them there, they're quite happy. Jumping on top of each other. Now this fallen log is a good spot. Remember, we were just talking about how the elephants would have been the cause of a fallen tree. And something like this, because it's rotting now, lots of termites in there that are probably eating away at the wood, and scorpions that live under the bark, beetles, grubs, larvae, you name it. It's a good place to come and have a look and scavenge. And also, if a big bird of prey does come swooping over or soaring over, they'll be able to see it, and they've got a good spot that they can go and hide in. It's quite intelligent the way that they will feed around an area where they've got some form of protection as well. I can hear a Cokie Franklin calling in the distance. And they're behaving quite nicely. Now, obviously, all of us guides, we know quite a bit about the different animal behaviors. And the reason why I didn't answer Kalinda's question when she'd asked, I told her just to hold off on it, was just because I actually wanted to watch the relevant behavior. Sometimes it's nice to look at those two on the bottom right playing. You see that? Sometimes it's really, really nice though to see the actual interaction, to understand the behavior a little bit better. And that's what I like to do. So I'll always try and get back to your questions, and I will write them down. I just don't know where I wrote that question down. And I think that was a much better example, actually being able to see it. I'm sure most of you who are living in the States or see things like ferrets and weasels, don't you think they look very much alike? And I know Liz thinks so. I know she thinks that they look very similar. And they're actually in a similar family. We just don't have weasels and things here. Everybody, we've got mongoose, which are quite nice. So thank you, mongoose, for coming out, because I haven't been able to sleep very well because I've been trying to find some mongoose to get that question. Well, we're watching those mongoose play around now with all of each other, and David Ryan would like to know, are they all siblings or are they from different families? Now, David, it just depends. There is a hierarchy system to mongoose. There is one pair that's more dominant than the rest, but the others are able to give birth as well. However, if it's not a direct bloodline, so if it's not a sister or a daughter of the dominant pair of mongoose, that female may actually go and kill the pups. So a baby mongoose is actually called a pup. So most likely that they would have been siblings, sort of directly related to each other. And they all sort of stay around. There's lots of males, lots of females, a bit of everything really. But really, really nice little animals to sit and watch if you've actually got the time. I've sat and watched mongoose on my own accord 2 hours sometimes. Watch them waking up, sort of poking their heads out of the termite mound, and then coming out and carrying on with their foraging that they'll do during the day. Right, well, we're going to carry on just checking these areas. We're still in the area where these leopard tracks were. And while I keep searching, maybe we find the giraffe too. I think let's hop on aboard with Brent Leo Smith and see how his morning has been treating him.
There are impala everywhere throughout this area, so hopefully one of them spots that leopard and starts snorting away. So I had to walk into the little river system there. I checked around one of Karula's favorite spots at the Jackalberry. Unfortunately, no sign over there. We're going to loop around again. Herbie's still on foot. In here somewhere. Now there's a possibility she maybe isn't as far into the block as we thought. So we're going to just go very slowly, check all the trees as we drive through here. Well, there's Herbie. I'm going to have a chat to him. Hi, Herb. Where's she?
Somewhere around.
She's beating us today.
There'll be no breakfast for me.
No breakfast till you find the leopard.
Yeah.
See, that's why we love Herbie. He's so committed. No breakfast for Herbie till he finds Karula and cubs. Okay, we're going to check next.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I lost the tracks in here, so I'm gonna find Banyalge.
Okay.
Yeah.
She didn't cross, huh?
That's what I want to check. Because they've been driving
Too many more,
up and
yeah.
down. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll go back. I'll go Impala Plains power lines.
But she's definitely somewhere here.
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you think I should go?
Yeah.
Power lines.
Did you check Philmon's Deep?
Route.
Okay.
And no one's
she's
driven there
still
yet
in the
today.
block.
We were the first mover to drive there.
Yeah. Because I did check that side. There's no sign for them coming.
Okay, thanks, Herb.
Welcome. Enjoy it.
And you too. But yeah, so we're going to go... Oopsie. We're going to go check around just in case she managed to sneak across the road and headed more in a westerly direction. But a Queen Karula up to her tricks. She is an incredibly difficult leopard to track, but the fact that the cub tracks are here as well, there's a good chance she's got some meat somewhere in this area. Okay, so while we search for Queen Karula, of course we're going to look for anything else we might see. And if we find a nice flowering knobthorn, always a good spot to check for sunbirds. Incredibly beautiful little birds. Where is he? I can hear him calling. Sometimes they can be incredibly difficult to spot when they're calling. A red-crested coron. Have you got him, Vem? Yeah. Oh, Vem's got him. Hello. Come on, do your suicide dance for us. It's the right time of the year. Now, hopefully, if he calls again, he might extend that red crest for us. No, he's deciding to be shy. Oop. Hiding behind the termitaria. Have a look. Just double checking the tracks here, making sure Karula hasn't come back this way. But Herbie's on it. And couldn't ask for a better man to be on foot looking for the queen. I think they're watching the car behind us. Some kudu that was staring into the bush, but I think they were watching a vehicle that was coming up behind us. Just going to let the vehicle pass. They seem to be in more of a rush than we are. But while we wait for the vehicle to pass, let's go across to Taylor, who's got a feathered friend.
We have got the greatest boerbean in this area, the Scotia brachypetalus, or the weeping boerbean. You can see it's lovely and it stands out. It's got lovely green leaves. Now we're going to have a look. We've got lovely red flowers, but I can also hear a greater double-collared sunbird chirping away that is somewhere jumping in and amongst these branches, trying to feed on these lovely flowers. And I know Brent was just trying to look for a sunbird. It seems I have beat him to it. Now I just need to get him to sit still so I can show you. So I'm just keeping my eyes out. Oh, I saw him. Where did he go? He's somewhere there. Oh, who's that? No, that's a crested barbet. There was a big one. Where's the sunbird? Oh, there's lots of birds here, everybody. Sorry, I'm trying to look at the tree to try and figure out where it's jumping. I can hear it. No, he's gone quiet, everybody. He's hiding from us. Now everybody's hidden. But there's a lot of birds on this tree anyway. Okay, well, when one of them decides to sit still, I'll be able to show you. But it's a very easy tree to identify because obviously it's very tall. It's got lovely green leaves. And now it's bursting with this lovely red color. And you can see from the flowers. Now, things like sunbirds and any of the other nectar feeders love to come and feed on this tree. And I think that was the sunbird that just flew away, that you possibly saw just passing the bottom right corner of your screen, because that sunbird has gone very quiet now. But I'm keep listening for it. Now, something else that's quite interesting about this tree is it's got lots of different uses. The wood is very hard. It makes for fantastic furniture. It's almost like a dark chestnut color, the heart of the wood. That you can't see that unless you've got x-ray eye vision. And now you can also use the bark of that tree to actually make dye. Now if you see an elephant scoring, but I don't think this tree doesn't look like it's got any tusk marks from an elephant. The bark is actually really red underneath, and you can dry that out and mix it with a bit of water and obviously crush it down to a powder, and then you can make a lovely dye from that, which is quite nice. And one of the most famous things about this tree is the fact that they have these wonderful little seed pods that develop on them. Now you get many different species of scotias, and this particular one, oh, I saw, what else was fluttering out? I don't know if you saw, what did we got there? That's our crested barbet, everybody. It's also eating away, and it's gone to the other side of the tree. I don't think we can see it now, but as I was saying, there's many different scotias. Now I want to tell you about one that I get down in the Eastern Cape of South Africa, so the southeast coast. That's the Karoo boerbean, so the Scotia afra. Now down in the south, where the settlers were first arrived, they actually would take those pods and they would roast them, and they'd use those beans to make a coffee substitute. Obviously, I don't think it's got a very high caffeine content to it, but nonetheless, they used to drink it. Now, they didn't quite do that with this tree up here. What they do here is they just roast the seeds and then they eat them. And that's something that they learned from the Khoikhoi people, which I found very interesting. And I'm hoping that the longer we hang around here, we're going to get another sunbird to come through. There's not many flowers around at the moment. It's not knobthorns that are flowering, the acacia xanthophoras, the fever trees, and then of course the boerbeans, and we've seen a few baboon's tail in the last few days with flowers on, and a couple of morning glories, but there's very little that these birds are able to feed on. So I thought that this tree would be covered with sunbirds, but apparently not. And you're really all just going to have to take my word for it that we saw a greater double-collared sunbird. Maybe I shall show you a very quick picture in case you have no idea what I'm talking about. Sunbirds, we've got to go to S, everybody. That would help, hey? Then we're going to go to G. So 410 is the page. I'll be 2 seconds. Getting a little bit better at this. I need to start memorizing these pages. Ta-da! I need to. Let me hold it up a little bit. Sorry, so it's in the sun. No, not that one. This is the one we were looking at. Quite amazing, hey? Beautiful green, big red band on its stomach, a little bit of blue. You only see that depending which way the light is shining on the bird, but a very easy one to sort of see. Something that you can get quite confused with is if you go a little bit over to the right. You see there? The southern double-collared sunbird. They look very much the same. This one is just slightly smaller. And then the big band of red is not so big on this one. And earlier, we actually saw another dull-coloured looking a sunbird, and I presume then if we saw the male great double-collared sunbird, it was possibly the female great double-collared sunbird that we saw. But there we have it, everybody. We've done quite a bit of birding today. Maybe we'll find some more Karoo beans for some more birds. Now I know Marianne wants us to try and go and find the Wahlberg's Eagle's Nest to see how those birds are doing. We can definitely make our way over there. It's going to take us a little bit of time. But Marianne, for you, we'll go and investigate. Of course. North. But while I head on over to the Wahlberg's Nest to see how our local pair is doing, let's go see what Mr. Leah Smith is thinking about this morning.
Well, we've looped around the whole of Impala Plains. No sign of Queen Karula. I'm just going very slowly down the power lines here. Herbie's in the bush over here somewhere. And I think if we get no tracks, I'll let Herbie work his magic and see what else we can find. Now, awesome that you saw a double-collared sunbird with Taylor. Hello, June, who's another first-time watcher. Welcome to the Safari Live family. June said she's enjoying the show, but she's very curious and would like to know how fast a leopard can run. Well, June, a leopard at top speed does around 24 meters per second, which is about 90 kilometers an hour. Just over 90 kilometers an hour. What was that? Was that a leopard track? No, it was a hyena track that's been half driven over. Now, for those of you who are new, we are live in the middle of the African bush, and you can ask a question just like June just did by using the hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can pop an email to questions@wildearth.tv. I'm going to take a gamble now, and I think there's been quite a lot of vehicle traffic up and down and around here, so it is possible that this leopard we are in search of managed to cross one of these roads, and she does like to head towards Gallagher Pan, so I'm going to have a little gander past the pan. Oh, lots of new viewers this morning. Wonderful. Hello, Hollywood Baby. Now, Hollywood Baby would like to know, is this an enclosed national park? It isn't. It isn't. It's quite complicated. It is an open system. To give you an idea, it's 8.5 million acres. But there is a fence to the west, and that separates the community lands, or the tribal lands, from the reserve. But we are open to the Kruger National Park, and this is actually a transfrontier park, and it encompasses 3 countries. So South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. But It is amazing that, of course, we can't drive over that 8.5 million acres, and we're in a private reserve that is open to the national park. And this private reserve is called the Sabi Sands Game Reserve. And if we had to go a little bit more specific, we're on Juma Private Game Reserve at the moment, which is one of the reserves within the Sabi Sands Game Reserve. Kruger often likes to sneak through here and down towards the pan, so we're going to go have a little look there. Doesn't look like anyone else has driven here yet, so fresh canvas to work on to look for tracks. Always check these prominent game paths coming in. Now, Jono said, if I had to guess, how many termite mounds would there be in 1 square mile? Well, Jono, that is completely dependent on the soil types. So in an area like this, there probably aren't that many, but in an area like Cheetah Plains, on the sandy soils, there are going to be a lot more. Oh, it's gone. Oh, here we go. I'm listening to Herbie. Okay, it sounds like Herbie's got tracks heading this way. Okay, so it sounds like Herbie wants us to check just up ahead. Herbie, at that, very close to that junction now, I'll go have a look. Okay, copy. I do remember there. Okay, I'll go and have a look. He says that tracks are heading north, so they could still be behind us. That's why we're not seeing tracks here. I still think she might have snuck across here. So what we're going to do is we're going to check Vuyatela access, which is this main road up ahead here, very carefully. I'm going to check down to the edge of quarantine. If we don't see any tracks there, then I'm going to head back to the west. So there's a couple of big game paths that come through here, this being one of them. There we go, so we're checking those. Here's another one. Okay, now no tracks so far. Now this is a spot I've seen Krula cross many times, but the ground's quite hard. Just checking very carefully. And hello, Bionilo, another viewer. Welcome to the live African safari. Vanilla would like to know, when does a leopard hunt for food? During the day or at night? Well, generally during the night and around sunset and sunrise. But all these predators are completely opportunistic. So they will take... Sorry, and the car seems to be being a bit funny. They will... If something happens on them during the day, they will try and catch it. So they are opportunistic. I just want to double check now. We're going to check up towards the next road junction. And while we're looking for leopards, it seems like Taylor's on a birding safari.
We have got a spider's nest, as you can see. Now I want to see if there's anybody home, so I'm going to get out of the vehicle very quickly. Out I get, pull my shorts down, put my lifeline in my pants. Now everybody, I can't stay unplugged for too long, otherwise I won't be able to breathe. So I just want to get a nice piece of grass. And some of you may have seen me doing this before. It's one of my favorite things to do. Now, this spider, in the vehicle it looked a lot lower down. I'm going to have to stretch. And I'm not too short. Now, the community nest spiders, actually, if you come and have a look in over here, can you see that? Looks like something got eaten. Yep. That's just the exoskeleton. Now I'm going to try and touch it. I feel as though I need possibly a longer stick now, but I don't want to use a stick because I don't want to break the web. I just want to tickle it and make myself pretend like I'm a spider. Let me find something else. Let's go with whatever you are. Pull that out the ground. Okay, let me get a good spot. Let's see if anybody's home. Now, hopefully, I'm going to come racing out. Normally they do. They're quite sensitive, so just a little tap. No. Doesn't seem like there's anybody living here. Look how strong that web is, everybody. That's a heavy stick compared to how thin these little strands of silk are. I don't want to break it too much. Let me just pull it nicely. No, don't get stuck on my fingers. But no one seems to be living here anymore. That's disappointing. I hope we were going to have a rush of spiders racing towards us, but we haven't. So maybe we'll find another one, maybe this afternoon, if we come across one. We shall try and have a look at all the lovely little spiders, because it's quite unusual. Spiders are solitary, most of them, except just a few. And we're quite fortunate to obviously see the community nest spiders. Now, I did hear elephants. We heard them screaming and shouting in the distance. So we need to try and get over there. Jarvi, what road do you think they're on? Twin Dams. Can we get there? Yeah. We can get there. Right, so that's what we're going to do. So, Marianne, I apologize. We're going to get to the Wahlberg's Eagle's Nest. We're slowly making our way there, but I do want to follow up on the elephants. It sounded like maybe there was quite a nice big herd just off to the right. So we're going to go around that way. Sorry, I've got to pull my hat down. It's about to blow off. Excuse that rustling noise. It's got very windy all of a sudden. Ooh, but bumpy here. Was this our 4x4ing road? Right, yeah. Ah, so we always have to do tests on vehicles, sort of just to make sure that you're driving them nicely and driving them correctly. And the other day, Steph brought David and I out here to do our vehicle testing, and this was exactly the road. Did I do all right? Yeah, have I improved? Thank you. It was just quite funny because I actually asked David the other day, I said, what was that road that we did all that 4x4ing on? Though it's not so bad anymore. It seems as though they've repaired it slightly, though this one is looking worse for wear. Bumpy here. Okay, so I'm going to try and locate on these screeching elephants. Hopefully they're not going to be too upset with us and we'll be able to have a look at them. And Marianne, we're also going to be going to Wahlberg eagle's nests at some point. We're getting there slowly. So while I navigate through these windy roads, I think I'll head on over and see how Brent is doing.
So Herbie's asked us to check the access road very carefully, so that's what I'm doing. Oh, Kim's pulling over for me. So I'm going to check. There's a couple of big animal paths up ahead near Aubrey's Road, and if we get nothing there, then we're going to head back. Hello, Jim. Where's the leopard? Oh, hey, William, nice score there. Huh? You see, William. So look, William, of course, one of the trackers. He's rolling as a traditional headdress there. Say hi, William.
Hello.
There we go. Cheers, Paul. Hello, William. Hello, everyone. Hello, Mama Z. There we go. William looking quite dapper today. Hi, Jason. Jason would like to know whether we can identify male and female leopard just by their tracks. Well, we can definitely identify that they're a male or female. And here we go. There's a pretty bird, but it's not being very kind to us. Here we go. Now, being very quick today, and little white helmet shrikes. There we go, there's one. They are insectivores. William, I'll get back to your question in a second, once we finish looking at these beautiful birds. Oh, there we go. And I also eat quite a few spiders. And I've even seen them collect spiders' webs for their nest. And off they go. White crowned helmet shrike. So, William, yes, we can definitely identify between male and female. Male is much bigger. As for individual leopards, it was Jason, sorry, Jason was asking that. Karula's tracks I know very well, and they're very small for a female leopard, and that's what gives her away. Just double checking here. That's all hyena tracks. So there's one more animal path I really want to check before heading back to the area where Herbie is. And it's this big one that comes here towards Aubrey's Road. Here it is. No sign, so let's turn around. But so Karula's tracks are very, very small, so I am able to generally see those. Also, it helps when you see two other sets of tracks with her, because it'll be the cubs. Or even though probably young Hosanna, the little male cub, his tracks are probably bigger than his mom's already. Last animal path, not a sign of leopards. So let's go back towards the east, check in with Herbie. But yeah, of course, each individual paw print is different, but it is the difference is so minuscule. It's really difficult to tell unless you spend a lot of time looking at that animal's tracks. So with like Karula, that we spend an incredible amount of time looking at, I generally think I can tell her tracks from another female leopard, but the others are all pretty similar to me. But it sounds like Taylor's got a reptile to show you.
Look at this little terrapin looking at us while we are looking at you. Now I'm going to get out because I want to show you how small it actually is. It doesn't look very small now. It's tiny. I thought it was a leaf blowing in the wind. And it's not. Oh, there it is. I almost lost it again. It's so small. I'm not going to pick it up now. Remember, Jamie was telling you the other day why you shouldn't pick up terrapins, and it's because they have a chemical defense. So they have a foul smelling odor and liquid that they will excrete. They're emptying their bursa sacs. That's where they store all their urine and water. And it smells terribly. And the other thing as to why you don't want to do that, why you don't want to pick it up, is because if they do that, they and if there's not a lot of water around, they don't drink within 24 hours again, they can actually die. I'm just going to turn it around though. Don't. No. Look how small it is. I've got small hands, everybody, as well. That is tiny. Don't be scared. I don't want to eat, but it's very risky actually being out here in the open. I've seen Wahlberg's eagles flying overhead. I've seen yellow-billed kites and all sorts of other things. And now this is very much in a lot of trouble if you don't move out of the way. Now off you go. Back to the waters where you came from. You're not going anywhere now. Maybe we should take it with. But I'm going to leave it. I'm just hoping that it goes towards the trees. I don't want to interfere too much because this is where we found it. It's obviously left the water somewhere. But it's quite young. I couldn't tell you how old that terrapin is, I'm afraid. But it doesn't look too old. Now we've got to make sure that we don't squash it as we get out of here. Look at it slowly moving. It's quite funny. Let's have one last look at this little terrapin. Go, 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 go! Quickly! Yeah, I can hear the birds coming over. You see how it froze there? There were some go-away birds that landed in the jackalberry, but don't worry. They won't want to eat you. You can see it navigating through the tire tread. And it's not very deep, that tire tread, but it just shows you as to how small this little chap really is. That any obstacle is a big obstacle. Quickly go! Go get under some trees, hide away. And this would be where the elephants would come in handy when they push over trees, that if it was panicking and trying to race away from a bird or something like that, it could go into a lovely fallen shrub and it would be safe. But it's almost crossed the road, almost home free. This thing is so tiny. It's so small. I really thought it was a leaf in the wind. And then I got so excited. So excited that probably none of you would have been able to have understood me. I don't even think that David understood what I was shouting about. He's shaking his head, he's going, I had no idea. I tend to do that sometimes, get too excited, and then I start speaking another language. Now off it goes. It's going to move on through these big leaves. Now those leaves are small as well. I think you're quite interested to see where this little chap goes to. And I can just hear in my ear as well that Herbie and Brent are working hard on trying to find that leopard, which is great. Come on, little guy, you're almost there. Keep going towards the dark tree. Stopping, surveying. I can hear something rustling, but I think it's just the go-away birds in the trees. Now, I've seen a female tortoise, not a terrapin, tortoise, laying her eggs before in the ground. And I've seen tortoises mating before. Now, James Richard wants to know, do terrapins mate in the water or on land? Now, James, good morning. Now, I'm not 100% certain, but I can only imagine that they mate in the water, seeing as they are more aquatic and then rather being terrestrial like the tortoises. So I think they pretty much do everything out in the water, and they obviously come out and they'll lay their eggs, I'm sure, not too far away from a permanent water source though. Oh, you lucky. You better keep going, because I see vultures and all sorts of things in the sky, catching thermals. But I think this little chap will be safe now. It seems to be shaded slightly, which is good. So lucky you. But I would be quite happy if a Wahlberg's eagle swooped down and ate this little one and took it back to the chicks. I know Marianne would be happy about that this morning. We're actually not too far from the Wahlberg's eagle nest, so after here, that's where we're going to be going. We're trying to follow up on those elephants. We heard them screeching, but we can't find them, so I presume that they are in the drainage line, which we can't navigate through, unfortunately, so we will leave them be, and we will have to try find elephants this afternoon. But it looks like that Terrapin is home free. Well done. You can have a round of applause. Congratulations. Woohoo! That was a long journey for that little Terrapin, everybody. Now, back to the Wahlberg's eagle's nest. I'm glad that it survived, and we watched it cross the treacherous Twin Dams Road. Bye-bye, little Terrapin. Be safe. Quite naughty, wandering around all on its own. No, I'm joking. They don't really rely on their on the adults to look after them. Once they've hatched, they go off and explore the world all on their own. A monkey! I've got a monkey. Hello, monkey. Did I go? It's a vervet monkey, everybody. Where are the rest of your... Oh, I see them. Hello, monkey, monkey, monkey. I'm so excited, everybody. There's so many small things around here at the moment, which makes me very excited. Well, and I see that there apparently are fleas around here too, so I hope we don't catch any of those. Keep away from us, monkey. Just stay there. And I'm glad to see that these monkeys are just happily eating and feeding on the vegetation like they should. I'm very impressed that I haven't seen too many monkeys hanging around the DRC and plaguing us and trying to steal all our food. So that's very good. Oh my goodness, coming right up. Oh no, stole something and then ran straight away. What did you get? What's in your mouth? A stick? Oh, well, what are you eating? Is it a root? I can't see what it is. Hang on, we're going to wait. Pull it out of your hand a little bit more. It ran over and it grabbed something and is now eating it. I don't know what it's eating. But there's like a whole root system or something that is out the ground, like the elephants have kicked over. And I wonder if it wasn't a fleshy part of some succulent that was perhaps growing there. But there are a few more. Where is the rest of them gone? Where I'm looking for you. I saw one more. I'm just scanning, everybody. My head is very busy. No, I've lost the other. Oh, look at that one up top there, dangling. Look at that. Hello, monkey. What are you eating? Looking for little grubs in between the bark, are we? So this is quite a young monkey, this one we're looking at now. They're both young. They both aren't adults. So I wonder where the rest of the family's gone. However, I don't think they have gone too far. Now, if only you knew where that lovely boerbean tree was, you need to go west. And there you will be able to eat lots of lovely flowers. This is another animal that would feed quite happily on those boerbean, those scotia flowers that we saw earlier. Be much tastier than the wood that you're picking off of this tree. That can't be very nice. And especially a cluster leaf. Cluster leaves are full of tannin, everyone. They're not tasty even on the greatest of days. It's amazing. Hey, you just drive in a circle thinking, oh my goodness, I'm so sad because I haven't found any animals. And then we find a terrapin, we find some monkeys. I can't wait to see what's around the next corner. Well, I know the Wahlberg's eagle nest is coming up, so I've always got that to look forward to. This one was being quite funny. It likes to dangle from the branches, apparently. But where is your family? Oh, and look, this one's run on the other side now. No, he's hiding. Did a daring dash behind my vehicle. I think you have to go up a little bit. It's going to the top of the... Where's he gone now? He's hiding from us. There is a monkey in there, everybody. It's just... There he goes. Now, that is a third monkey. So they're slowly coming out from somewhere. Where have you gone? No, this one is not posing as nicely, so that's good. So they're around here somewhere. There's a big drainage line. It's a good place to be. Out of the wind. Lots of little food coming around. Lots of flowers and berries on the jackalberry trees. However, I don't know what you're going to find up here. You're just climbing to the top to survey the area, perhaps? Please do an alarm call for a leopard for me. No, those are sulking. Let's see, this little one is coming down from the tree. No, it's not going anywhere. Maybe we can look at the one that's posing nicely, that's sunning itself on the branches. Very casual. Now, normally, I love it when the baboons sit on the termite mounds. And we call it a loo with a view. So this is sort of something like that. You're very itchy, monkey. You need to get your brother or sister or your mom or your dad to do a bit of grooming to pick out all those parasites. Look how delicate they are when they climb down. Oh, what have you found? There's some lovely green leaves. Looks like from a vine of some sort. Very nice. Now it's very important. I'm going to just remind everybody, if you do come on a safari holiday, or any holiday in fact, please don't feed the animals. Rather just let them be, and there's perfectly good amount of vegetation around that they can scavenge on and forage for. They're well capable, as you've seen. They can dig for things. Because if you feed them, you unfortunately make them become reliant on humans for food. And that's when they can become quite aggressive. If you say, yes, 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 you can take, and then you decide that you don't want to feed them anymore, that doesn't work. Then they get very upset. So rather just let them be. And always keep your windows and doors shut. Otherwise they will come and raid your room. They're very intelligent little animals. Especially the vervets. Now, David, you want to know why their faces are so dark. It's just the dark sort of. Let's have a look. Let's try and do some closer examining. Oh, is that one coming out? No, our friend's all gone. Oh, there he is, back again on the quarry, everybody, sitting out nicely. So if you look very carefully, and their feet as well, can you see how their feet are black? So there's not very much hair around on their face. A lot of it is facial skin. Their hair is obviously grey and more white. So I can only presume that they have that darkened facial skin around their face, around their eyes, around their nose, around their mouth, which is quite sensitive, is to avoid sunburn because they lack hair there. That would be my conclusion as to why they have the black faces. Beautiful one. Just the three of them moving around here. I haven't seen any more, haven't heard any more. Oh, there's another one at the base of the... Yes, Penelope, good morning. Penelope, these monkeys are indeed omnivores. So they eat all the lovely green grass shoots, as you can see that's happening now. Look, oh, delicious. They eat fruits, they eat roots, they eat also beetles and moths and grubs and caterpillars. They will eat all those little things. Very hungry. Ooh, can't get enough of that green grass. Told you that the animals are going to be absolutely loving for it. You'd swear this one hasn't eaten for a while, the way it was stuffing its face. Now, one of my favorite things to see, even though I said I don't like it when people feed animals, but when you unfortunately do have a raid from a troop of vervet monkeys, it's quite funny to see them running away with all the food, because anything that they can put something in, they will. So you'll see them. Let's talk about muffins. If you were perhaps baking that morning and you'd baked a lovely tray of muffins and you'd pack them out, put them in a basket to cool, and a group of monkeys managed to get in, well, this monkey that we're looking at would have one muffin in its mouth and maybe 2 muffins in each hand, and it would race away with as many as it could. It's quite hysterical. And then you'd see the rest of them all coming out with those lovely 12 muffins that you baked, all gone, being eaten by the monkeys. Here comes the one more. Where did you go? There, he's going to cross just now. He's doing the same thing. It's just behind the tree. There we go. Here he comes. Hello. Yeah, 3 naughty terrorists. If you've been watching. Yeah, I think you heard that word, and I think that's not the first time you've been called that. If you've been watching when I first started here at Safari Live, I told some of my moments of a room being raided by vervet monkeys. So I love them, but they also are not my friends. But it serves me right for leaving my window open. But they're clever. I've watched them learn how to unlock windows. They are so smart. They only need to go in and try it once. How cool was that? Right. Now, everybody, we need to get to this Wahlberg eagle's nest. I think I can see it in the distance, but we're going to go around and try and get a better view. While I do that, let's head over to Brenty Poo and see if he's managed to find Karula or whoever is wandering around the property.
So no luck yet. Herbie's still on the tracks, but they were heading north into that sort of impenetrable river system. So, well, we leave Herbie on foot. We're going to head back towards the amber-eyed lioness and that Birmingham. See if there's been any change. I don't think there probably has, but always worth having a squiz. From what I can hear, the wild dogs have been giving everyone a run around in the north, and they started heading south, but they've lost them. Who knows, maybe they'll appear out of nowhere. As all wild dogs are very good at doing. Okay, now where's that? There's that tree that I marked in my mind for the lions. Now they were sleeping next to the termite mound just up ahead. Okay, while we try to see if these lions have moved or not, let's go to Taylor, who has finally arrived at the Wahlberg's eagle nest.
Now, you can see a nest at the bottom left-hand side of your screen. However, I don't think that that's the Wahlberg's nest. But here, everybody, is one of the pale morph Wahlberg eagles. Now, we're not far from that nest. We are about 200 meters, according to a Downpour Dave. So this could most definitely be the same eagle, or one of the eagles from the nest that we are so familiar with. Maybe it's just been flying around looking for that terrapin. Off it goes, everybody. Perhaps it's on its way back to the nest. Should we go around to the nest? Let's go around to the nest, everybody. You can see it there. Ah, cool, that is. Lead us to the nest. Maybe we'll be able to follow this Wahlberg's eagle back home. Wouldn't that be quite amazing? Now you can just see a silhouette of it at the moment, flying over. And I think that's exactly where it's going. What do you think, Dave? I think it's going to take us to the nest. Let's go around. We're not far. And I heard some more branches breaking. But no, I'm not hoping for these elephants, because these elephants are making me very sad. We can just hear them, but we can't see them. They're taunting us. Hello, Wahlbergs. You are really beautiful, flying up above us right now, but you won't be able to see. Where's the nest? Okay, don't worry. Downpour Dave knows where the nest is, so he's going to take us. Just need to pull my hat down, everybody. Sorry, it's about to fly off due to this wonderful wind. It feels like it's the Eastern Cape today. We're going straight. Oh no, we're going right. Okay, we'll be there in just a little bit. As we're going past, can we have a look at that big boerbean again? Now, this one, you see it's another boerbean tree, that tree that had the lovely red flowers. However, this one doesn't have any flowers just yet. Can you see that? Nothing? This is going to be quite a nice one, I think, when it does get some flowers. Another one to keep an eye out for. It'll be a good birding spot once this big one does. This is much larger than the one we had earlier this morning. And And it just depends on the type of elephants. Finally, everybody. Oh my goodness, I'm getting so distracted. But we have found the elephants. Look at them. So they were in the drainage line, everybody. That's exactly where they've been hiding. And there seems to be quite a few of them. Now, it's obviously very difficult to go down there, and we don't like to off-road for elephants for safety purposes, and there's no need to squash the vegetation when we can see them right over here. However, what I might do is, Dave, I think I'm going to go forward for you a little bit because I've got a very clear view. So let's, just going to go a fraction further forward. How's that? Is that better? Yep. There we go. Now you can see the whole elephant. Oh, and I almost fell out. We should lock the door. And they're just here munching away. Like I said, it's windy now. It started off being a beautiful day, not a breeze. It's very hot though, and we all know that the elephants don't particularly enjoy the wind, as do the rhinos and the buffalo and the zebra and the impala. They all prefer to stay out of the wind, so feeding in a drainage line is a very good idea. And I suspect that this wind is only going to get stronger, so be prepared for a very windy afternoon. I may not be able to wear my hat if this wind keeps up. They're very quiet. I can't tell you how many are in this herd, unfortunately. They're all spread out, but I've seen about 6 so far. You'll see. There's a nice little breeding herd that we've got. But we've been hearing branches breaking and all sorts of trumpeting going on. So possibly there's quite a few of them spread out in this area. I'm so happy about that. See what I said? It's been amazing. This last 150 meters. I don't think we've gone any more than that much. I'm going to go back again so we can get another view of the other elephants. That one's coming out, but I think if I go back, I can just hear them everywhere. Rusty, reverse please. Yeah, thank you. Go into reverse. No, Rusty needs a talking to. There we go. Can you see them? You can see them. There's a few trees in the way, but you can see that there's 3 elephants over there. And I definitely think they're all spread out. It's a nice shady spot to actually, as well, to have a little siesta. Just under that jackalberry tree. You can see them hiding away in the lovely shade. Looks like a big female on that you can just see peering out on the right. And I think a male and her, two youngsters. The one that's sort of in the middle looks like it could be a boy. It's quite difficult to tell from here. And then this one looks like it could be a female. It looks like it's got a very sharp head and also secreting from the temporal gland. I don't know if you can see that it's difficult because the trees are in the way. Now, at that size of an elephant bull shouldn't be really secreting from his temporal glands. Oh, I suppose he could if he was maybe stressed. They could do that, but the very sharp angled head looks like another female. Can't see what they're eating, but the 3 of them have found something there that's obviously quite delicious. Got thorns. Ah, you look like an acacia. And that explains it, if it is an acacia. Now, I've been trying to count how many elephants are in this herd, and unfortunately, Haley, I cannot see how many there are. They seem to be all spread out. I can see 6 though, but behind lots of trees, I don't know if you'll be able to get a good view of them, and I can hear some more. Now, a breeding herd of elephants can be anywhere from 5 elephants right through to 30 elephants. And typically you don't see one family sort of more than anywhere between 30 and 40 elephants. That's quite a big breeding herd. But you do see families coming together, however. So that's when you see 150 elephants or 200 elephants. It's normally more than one family group that have joined together and are going on a search for greener pastures. We saw that a lot down in the south, actually. There was this group of elephants, and it was actually 3 different groups that we used to see on a regular basis. And the reason why I know this is because there was 1 or 2, there were 3 or 4, female elephants that had identifying features. Like the one tusk was quite interesting. It sort of grew straight down to the ground and then bent backwards, so bent back towards the elephant. There was another one that had a big split straight through her ear, and they all had these different features, and this was sort of like one elephant from each of the family groups, and they ended up joining up. It was quite interesting, and they would go into Kruger because we'd see them coming back with all the lovely red sand, and then they would come north into the southern sector of the Sabi sands, and then they would go all the way north, and then a few weeks later we'd see them again coming from Kruger, and they were just doing loops and loops and loops. There were about 100 of them that ended up hanging together just searching for food. It was quite amazing. And you could see them there again stripping the bark. And I always find that in the summer months the elephant's tusks are normally quite black, quite grey in colour. Now we see that because they're having lots and lots of mud baths to keep themselves nice and cool. But then you can also see them in winter with darkened tusks, but normally it's not really from having the mud baths, though they do, but only on exceptionally hot days. And it's like almost like a complete opposite. It's because they're sticking their tusks into the ground trying to dig for the roots in the bottom of the trees. But very dirty tusks, and I suspect, so keep an eye out on the dam cam throughout the morning, because it is very warm, and possibly we're going to get a few elephants going down there to have a little drink or to cool themselves down, to have a little wallow. That would be very nice. Very happily just feeding there. So they seem to be slowing down for the morning now. They do a lot of feeding during the night, and they actually carry on eating for about 19 hours every single day. Can you imagine for eating 19 hours a day and not worrying about what you look like? It'd be amazing. So these elephants will do that. But typically when it gets very, very hot, and like I said, it's getting warm now, they'll find a nice shady patch. Obviously it's got to be a tree big enough with lots of leaves to provide some shade for a big elephant. And then they'll have a little siesta. I've just seen some more elephants come out into the drainage. So it's quite a big herd. I've just seen another 2 elephants come down. So we're on 8. And I suspect that there are still more to come. But it's beautiful here. Right, I know we're looking at these elephants, but I very quickly want to go to this Wahlberg's eagle's nest. We're probably only about, how far would you say, 50 meters away? A little bit more. Right, everyone, let's very quickly go to this Wahlberg's eagle's nest, because I am intrigued and I want to see what's going on. So we're going to leave our lovely friends the elephants, bye-bye, and hopefully we'll be able to find them again this afternoon and spend a bit more time with them. But let's very, very quickly go to the Wahlberg's eagle's nest. I'm racing. Are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it, Downpour Dave? I think so. Okay, I'm going, everybody. Hold on tight. I don't know why I'm holding onto my steering wheel so tight. I'm not actually going that fast. Okay, almost. I think we're gonna make it. Woo! That's a bit quick. Sorry, Dave. We're getting there, everybody. How far? How much further?
It's still another 100.
No, I don't know if we're gonna make it, everybody, but I'm trying. I'm trying my absolute best. Lots of wind. I can't even hear myself talk anymore, so I hope you're still hearing me. Woo! Bumpity bump. Let's not try and lose. Are we there yet? No. I don't know if we're gonna make it. Okay, everybody, I don't think we're going to make it, but let's have a last look at these little elephants. It has been a wonderful morning spent with all of you, and I hope you've had a fantastic day. And remember to tune in this afternoon for the Sunset Safari, and we'll follow up on the Wahlberg's eagle. Goodbye, everybody. I'll leave you with the elephants.